Hello, viewers. I am Mr. Dilip Kumar Pal, stands before you with an important topic of +2 second year political science, that is democracy. In +2 second year, there is a chapter in political science which is known as democracy. And so far as democracy is concerned, 4 aspects of democracy are prescribed in the course of study. Number 1 is meaning. I have discussed in part 1 of my video. And another topic of aspect democracy in +2 second year course is the types of democracy, which we will discuss today. And another aspect of democracy is merits and demerits of democracy. We will discuss in the part 3 video. And last aspect of democracy is the challenges for democracy, which we will discuss in part 4 of my video. Today's video relates with the types of democracy or forms of democracy. I request my viewers who are mostly +3 level students, I request them to intimate at least +2 second year students of political science about my channel, so that they will subscribe, so that at least +2 second year students, political students will be benefited. Because if we will help to somebody else, definitely will be helped by God. Okay, viewers, we will start today. Types of democracy or forms of democracy. It means democracy is of how many types? Let us start. In the world, governments are of many types, but democracy is considered as the best form of government. Due to this reason, in 3/4 part of the world, democracy is functioning. And this democracy is of 2 types. One is direct democracy. It is otherwise known as pure democracy. And another one is indirect democracy or representative democracy. Let us start. What is direct or pure democracy? Direct or pure democracy was prevalent in ancient Rome, in ancient Athens, in ancient Indian panchayats, and now it is observed only in one country, that is Switzerland. So, what is direct democracy or pure democracy? Direct democracy or pure democracy means it is a system where people take part in administration directly by assembling in an open assembly, lens gemende. Direct democracy or pure democracy means it is a democracy where people take part in administration directly. People take part in the administration not through their representatives, but they take part in administration directly. People assemble in a place known as lens gemende or open assembly. People assemble in a place or lens gemende or open assembly, and they will express their views on public affairs. They take decision, they elect representatives, and they pass the budget. So, direct democracy or pure democracy means it is a system where people assemble in a place and take decision for the country. So, it is a system where people directly involved in administration. It is known as direct democracy or pure democracy, it is prevalent, it can be possible in a country which is small in size. In a larger country, direct democracy or pure democracy cannot be possible because there is no place where people can assemble. For example, in India. Now the population of India is approaching 140 crores. So there is not any place where 140 people can gather. So direct democracy is possible only in small country. Because in direct democracy, people assemble in a place and take decision for the country. They pass the budget. They take the decision. They elect the representatives. So where people directly take part in administration, it is known as direct democracy. And in direct democracy, there are some principles like referendum, initiative, recall, plebiscite and Lenz-Gemende. In direct democracy, there are 5 important principles. So what these principles are? Number 1, referendum. Referendum means to refer. It means whenever the legislature will pass a bill, it will be referred to the people for approval. If people will give approval, it will become law. Otherwise, if people will not give approval, it will be rejected. So, referendum means to refer. Who will refer? The legislature. To whom? To the people. It means whenever the legislature will approve a bill or proposal, it will not be an act. It will be referred to people for approval. If people will give approval, it will become law. If people will not give approval, it will be rejected. This is known as the referendum. And again, referendum is 2 types. One is compulsory referendum, other one is optional referendum. Compulsory referendum means whenever the legislature will make any bill, the bill will have to be referred to the people for approval. The bill must be referred to the people for approval. It is known as compulsory referendum. But what is optional referendum? Optional referendum means whenever the legislature will pass any proposal, it will be referred to the people if people will demand. If people will not demand, that proposal of legislature will not be referred to the people. So, optional referendum means whenever the legislature will pass any proposal, it will be referred to the people if people will demand. So, we are clear. The first principle of direct democracy, which is referendum. Number 2, initiative. Initiative means if people will pass a proposal and they will send it to the legislature for approval, it is known as the initiative. Initiative means if people will approve a proposal, then they will refer the proposal to the legislature for approval. It is known as the initiative. Again, initiative is 2 types. One is formulative initiative and unformulative initiative. Formulative initiative means whenever people will pass a proposal, the total proposal they will send to the legislature for approval. It is known as the formulative initiative. Unformulative initiative means whenever people will pass a proposal, its main points will be referred to the legislature for approval. It means whenever people will pass any proposal, main aspects will be referred to the legislature for approval. It is known as the unformulative initiative. And number 3, recall. Recall means call a representative back. It means whenever people will elect a person for some specific period, if that person will not look after the people interest, then people can call him back before that tenure. So recall means, for example, in India, a person has been elected for 5 years. If after 2 years he will not work for the interest of people, people can call him back before the term. It is not found in India. It is found in country where direct democracy, now in Switzerland. So recall means call a representative back before his tenure. It means if a representative after being elected will not work for the people, then people have the power to call him back before the tenure and send another representative in its place. And number 4, plebiscite. Plebiscite is a French word, means appealing to suffrage. Plebiscite is a French word. It means appealing to suffrage of people. It is a process by which opinion of people is known. It is a device by which important issues are decided by votes of people. Plebiscite is a French word. It means appealing to the suffrage of people. It means whenever the government will take any important step, it should be voted by people. It means whenever government will take any important step, that decision must be approved by the people by vote. So plebiscite means whenever the government will take any decision or whenever the government will take any step, it will have to be approved by the people on the basis of vote. Otherwise, it will not be carried on. Finally, Landsgemeinde. Landsgemeinde means open assembly. In direct democracy, there is a Landsgemeinde, open assembly. Open assembly means it is a place where people assemble and take a decision. So these are all the principles of direct democracy. So you are clear what is direct democracy. It is observed in which place now, in which country now, Switzerland, and previously and in primitive time it was observed in which country, in ancient Athens, ancient Greece, in ancient Rome, ancient Greece, Athens, and now it is prevalent in Switzerland. So we are clear what is direct democracy and what are its main principles. Now discuss what is indirect democracy. Indirect democracy is otherwise known as the representative democracy. It is observed in India, America, Britain and Japan. Indirect democracy means it is a democracy where people will not rule directly. They will rule through their representatives. It means in indirect democracy, people elect their representatives who will form the government and take decision. It is known as indirect democracy. So indirect democracy means people will not take part in administration directly. Rather, people elect their representatives who will take decision on behalf of people. It is known as indirect democracy or representative democracy. And in indirect democracy or representative democracy, there are some basic principles. Number 1, people rule through representatives. In indirect democracy, people will not rule directly. Rather people rule through their representatives. Number 2, representatives are responsible to people. In system, representatives who are elected by people, they are responsible to people because they are being elected in every general election. If they will not work in a better way, people will replace them. Number 3, people change the representatives periodically. No doubt people elect the representatives, but periodically people change the representatives. Number 4, people are the source of power. Though in indirect democracy, people will rule through the representatives, but people are the source of power because they change the representative from time to time. Finally, people do not have direct share in administration. In indirect democracy, people do not have direct share in the administration. People do not have direct link with the administration, but they are linked with the administration through their representatives. So in this video, we are clear what is direct democracy and what is indirect democracy. Where direct democracy is operating now, it is operating in Switzerland. Previously, where it was operating in ancient Rome, ancient Greece, and ancient Indian panchayats. And where indirect democracy is prevalent, it is prevalent in India, America, Japan, and Britain. I request my viewers, +2 second year political science students, to watch this video attentively and make best use of this video. And recommend your friends again to subscribe my channel, so your friends will be benefited, because a help to friend is a service to God. Thank you. Again, its Odia version is also available. I request my viewers to take best use of this channel. Thank you. Goodbye to all.